Hello, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today we will be making Asian pear sauce. These were gifted to me by my neighbor Cynthia via my friend Kristen, so thank you both for that. I'm very excited to make this for you all today. First thing we're going to do is pop them over to the sink and get them scrubbed up, and we'll be taking the little stems off as well. We're gonna make this really similar to my easy applesauce recipe. I might link that down below for you to check that out. So we're gonna wash them, take the stems off, and put them in a pot on the stove. Once they're all clean and in the pot, I'll take you over there and show you the next step. Okay, they're all clean. They're in this pot here, whole. They're completely whole. I just took the stems off and I put just a tiny bit of water, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan so they don't scorch. I've got my burner up on medium heat, and we're going to let these steam until the skins break open and they soften just a bit. After that's done, I don't know, probably 10-20 minutes max, we're gonna run them through the food mill and I'll show you what that looks like next. See you in a minute. All right, now that the pears have softened up, we're going to run them through this KitchenAid food mill. It's a really nice thing to have when you're processing food for canning. It makes things just go so super fast. So we'll just turn it on, and the sauce will come out this spout, and all the seeds and skin will come out this side. Alright, so that's the process. I'm really quickly going to go ahead and get through this big pot of pears, and then we're going to put all of the sauce back into another pot on the stove and just keep it on a medium heat, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, we're back. We've got our pear sauce, our Asian pear sauce here. My jars are clean, lids are clean, and we have all of these tools out here that we'll be using to get these all preserved. I have my canner over here, and it's filled with water because this is going to be water bath style. Yeah, I know I'm using my pressure canner, but it don't matter. All right, first things first, let's get some jars. Okay, I have my jar here. Okay, before you fill your jars, you're going to want to taste the sauce and see if you need to add any honey to it or sugar. All right, I think it tastes fine like it is. I'm gonna leave it plain. Asian pears, they have low acidity, so it's recommended that you add lemon juice to your pears. And we're using half-pint jars, and we need a tablespoon per pint, so we're gonna need a teaspoon and a half for the half pints, and I have a half teaspoon here. We'll want to leave a 1/4 inch headspace, which is right about there, pretty close to the top. Take your bubble popper, run it around the outside and into the center of the jar. And then I have a wet paper towel here. Some people use vinegar. For this, I'm just using water. And we'll wipe the rim and grab a lid. And put your ring on just finger tight. I'm going to set this off to the side and fill all the rest of the jars. They'll all go into the canner at the same time because everything's kind of room temperature right now. So I'm going to fill these up and I will be right back. All the jars are full. I got 12 of them, which is perfect because that's what will fit in my canner. And we're just going to pop them in right now. And I do have this canner starting to warm up. It's not really very warm right now, but we'll crank it up as soon as we get all the jars in. Now for water bath canning, you want to make sure that the water is 1 to 2 inches above the top of your jars. Okay, I got all my jars in. I'm gonna crank this heat up. I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. All 12 jars in. And in case you're curious, I am making Hungarian goulash for dinner in my slow cooker. You don't have to put the lid on. You don't have to seal it. I do. It just works for me that way. If you too are using your pressure canner as a water bath, make sure that the pressure regulator remains off at all times, so it will not go on ever at all. Okay, crank it up to high. Make sure it's centered here real nice. And that's it. When it gets to a full rolling boil, we'll start a timer for 20 minutes, and then we'll take it off the heat and let it sit for 5 minutes before removing them from the canner. I'll get back to you once this is up to temperature and we get our timer started. All right, that's full rolling boil. So we're going to set the timer to 20 minutes. Get the lid back on. It's kind of spitting in my face right now. Okay, got the lid back on, and it does need to process at a full rolling boil for the entire 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, I'll see you again. Okay, the timer has gone off, and because I forgot to take my little plug out of the back, it's built up some pressure inside the canner. So I'm just going to, instead of removing the lid right now, I'm gonna have to take it off the heat and wait until my little nipple here drops down. Then we'll take the lid off. So it'll be kind of heavy, so just be careful when you're moving it. All right, as soon as that little pressure indicator pops down, we'll go ahead and take the lid off. That only took about, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes max for that little nipple to pop down. So we're gonna go ahead and take the lid off now and set it aside. The water is still slightly boiling. Ooh, sorry about all that steam. Now that the lid's off, we're just gonna set the timer for 5 minutes. Ow. And then we'll take them out. 5-minute timer's gone off, and it's time to take these out of the canner. It's pretty hot, so just be careful of your hands. And try not to tip the jars over when you're pulling them out. That water on top will evaporate. Careful not to splash yourself in the face. That's the last one. Now we're going to let these just sit here and not be touched and not be bothered at all for about 24 hours. It might be a little bit less than that, but they'll definitely be fully cooled off by the time we mess with them again. I will see you all tomorrow, and we'll see how many of these sealed. All right.